Okay,
Okay,
go.
okay, I gotta say this again, and I'm very sad about it, but it's true. My mother was a toxic vampire, all right? Okay, this is not her head, this is someone else. Okay, now here's my mother. My mother comes from the Depression era, right?
Yeah.
Okay, now you know what's gonna happen. Okay, so, I say to her, I think it's gonna be a beautiful day. We're in California, there's no rain, and it's a green, it's beautiful, California's beautiful. She looked at me and said, so then I say, okay, I want to go out, I think I want to go to the beach, and I want to have a nice time and meet a friend. She says, what? You're going to go out? I said, what? What's wrong? She says, there's a 10% chance of rain. You see the thinking? What about the 90% that's going to be good? Now,
That's on your side.
now, my little lovable toxic vampire had to say no, 10% chance of rain. So I said to her, one day when I was in New York, I said, I want to buy a house. How do people buy a house? She said, you don't buy a house. How are you going to buy a house? You can't afford to buy a house. You see, all negative. Because she came from the Depression, very conservative. You don't buy a house, you don't spend money, you don't invest, you don't do anything like that. You put your money in the bank, if you have any money. Okay? And even then, people feel you got to hide it in the mattress. All right? So, anything new, she was frightened of, the poor woman, because she went through the Depression and she wasn't available for any kind of dreams or new ideas. So I says, well, I think I want to go to college. She said, well, we can't afford to send you to college. What are you going to do? So, I went to work, I got a little scholarship, I got some stuff like that, I got to it at the City University of New York, which is wonderful. It almost came to almost no cost. It's unbelievable. And every country should have that available. But anyway, you see, so my mother and my whole family, no one ever bought a house. No one ever had a divorce. What else? No one ever had anything but a job. Right? That's what they did. And so anything new, they were opposed to. So in their own way, they were toxic vampires. So I had to get out of New York. You see, you've got to get away from the toxic vampire. And then when I came out here, everything worked. Everything worked for me once I was free of their fear. Because fear infects people around you. Okay? If they're frightened, then you will get frightened. No. I had to get out of New York. So they all stayed in New York. I came to California along with my wife. And that's when it all started for me. Okay? But I had to cut the cord. All right? And then, when I was success, all of a sudden all my relatives came out of the woodwork. Right? When you're a success, everybody comes. Okay? And that's what happened. That's part of the story. So that's my darling little mother, who was hilarious and a lot of fun, and she was a riot. But she was filled with fear because of the Depression. And an investor never, don't even say investment. You go investment, you lose all your money. What are you, crazy? You can't do anything. That was their thinking. So that's the end of toxic vampires.